Hello, and welcome back to the podcast that will definitely save you from a deadly roller coaster. Welcome back to the best part of your week. Welcome back to the Love, Death, and Movies podcast, internet's #1 film breakdown and review podcast that crushes watch lists week after week. Every month is a different genre. Every week is a different film in that genre. So follow us on everything, join along for the ride, and let's watch some movies. Thank you for mouthing that the entire time that I was doing the intro.
It's as if I know what you're going to say.
Yeah, sure you didn't know. Well, with me, of course, is my amazing co-host, Harry, today. How are you doing, sir?
Amazing. That's a step up. I don't want to give people a false sense of security. It's going to be standard, I reckon. I'm going to be a standard Harry today, I think. But I'm good, living life. There's less than 2 weeks till Christmas. Santa's here. Can't wait. Oh my God, Santa!
I know him.
I know him. Oh my God, can't believe it. Yeah, no, it's just winding down towards Christmas, which will be cool. I can't wait. I can't wait to tuck into some Christmas ham. How about you, Ash? How are you?
I'm doing okay. It's been a week. Not going to get into the details, but yeah, it was a busy week here in the Lasky household. So today's good though. Today feels like a normal day, and happy to be talking about the third installment in the Final Destination franchise. But
The
until
best
that,
picture winner, Final Destination
right?
3.
Oscar winner from films from 2006, of course. Beat out things like The Departed and The Prestige.
Excuse me.
But before we get into that, how was your week, Harry? Anything notable? I think did you see a big release this week? Or?
Yeah, I saw two. I went to 2 premieres. Sounds really showboaty. I got lucky enough. I'm a very lucky boy. I went to see Better Man, the Robbie Williams biopic.
I'm not too familiar with that.
So, do you... Yeah, So I just found this out. US, you guys don't know Robbie Williams that well, eh? He's a fucking superstar in UK and Australia. I went to the AFL Grand Final a couple of years ago, and every year at the AFL Grand Final they have a pre-show entertainment, and it's someone huge. This year it was Katy Perry. Last year was Kiss, I think. They're always huge bands or artists. And I went a couple of years ago, and it was Robbie Williams, and it was one of the best live performances I've ever seen. He's great. But this story is awesome. It's a biopic, so every week there's a different music biopic, but this one's actually really great. So he's played by a CGI monkey, so you just got to get past that.
Okay.
It's kind of like a symbolism of how he's a dance monkey, for the music industry, how everyone just cares about his performances, but didn't really care about what was happening behind the scenes. Awesome movie, great movie, loved it, loved my time with it. Robbie Williams fucking rules. It's not fun for the whole family. Robbie Williams definitely lived the rock and roll lifestyle, and him as a monkey, you just got to get past it. And then I saw even more raunchy film yesterday, which was Paddington in Peru.
Ooh, raunchy.
Yeah, loved it. That movie's fucking cool. It's not as good as the first two, but goddamn, what a trilogy. Love Paddingtons. They're so.
Can I make a truth right now? I've never seen any of them.
Oh man, I envy you to watch the first 2 Paddingtons again. Woo-hoo, I'd love to do that.
Weren't the first 2 done by the same guy who did Wonka?
Yeah.
Okay.
They're both way better than Wonka. Sorry for...
Well, I love Wonka, you know this. So.
Okay, well then you will love Paddingtons. For sure.
Super.
Wonka's so overrated. So overrated.
Ash, not getting into this right now.
Ash, how are you? But Blake, first off, are you picking Wonka over Gene Wilder's Wonka?
No.
Okay, good. All right. Well, you don't have to fight.
Well, that's a relief since we're virtual. I'm not sure how that would go down.
Yeah, it'd be a very expensive fight.
Right.
Plane ticket, yeah. No.
I mean, honestly, my week was really shitty. I don't even want to get into it. I'm going to talk more about the future, which is that it's almost Christmas, like you said.
It's almost Christmas.
I think it's 11 days till Christmas. So looking forward to that. I'm off the 23rd, 24th, and 25th. So it's only 3 days, but you get a nice long 5 days off after next Friday. So I'll be looking forward to that because work has just been hectic this month.
Hopefully you can watch Nora then.
Dude, I'm waiting for it to come on digital because it's not playing near me. So fingers crossed it comes out before the end of the year. I would love to finally see what the hype is all about.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good.
I believe you, but I don't want to build it up too much because I feel like that's what happened with Songbird, and then I was kind of like,
I won't build it up so much. I'll just say it's the best movie of all time. Okay.
Okay, well
All right.
that's great, Harry.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's not going to impact it at all for me.
Gotcha.
Well, we're not talking about Honora today, unfortunately. Harry wishes.
What?
Instead, we're talking about another five-star film, Final Destination 3, the third installment in the franchise.
Star.
It's for those people who decided to review every Final Destination movie this month instead of talking about Christmas, because we know that's what people really want to talk about. This one was directed by James Wong, who also did the first one. So the second one was done by somebody else. So he did the first Final Destination, and then the third one came out in 2006, and it stars Mary Elizabeth Winstead and Disney Channel legend Ryan Merriman. You remember Ryan
Ooh,
Merriman?
yeah, I do. I thought I recognized him.
Again, Luckily Irish and a multitude of other Disney Channel original movies. That's kind of where his career, like, kind of, I guess, came about. And then he tried to branch out, and I don't think it worked very well for him. I don't know if he ever did anything else after this movie.
He did. Yeah. There's Elevator Girl, the classic.
Oh yeah, Elevator Girl.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
Crazy. That was
remember that one.
the sequel to Pretty Woman. I know.
Yeah, totally. Well, the movie for the one we're talking about today goes as follows. Let's jump right into it. 6 years after a group of high school students first cheated death, another teen has a premonition that she and her friends will be involved in a horrifying roller coaster accident. When the vision proves true, the student and her fellow survivors must deal with the repercussions of cheating the Grim Reaper. Ooh. Before we get into it, Harry, as always, tell me your relationship with this movie when you first watched it. Do you like it? What's your thoughts on it?
I think this was the first Final Destination I saw. This is like when I was in like primary school, high school.
Mm.
This movie is just so much fun. To be honest, I find this movie a lot of fun. I want to see how much attendance to roller coasters went down from this film, because like it definitely made me scared of roller coasters, and like I didn't go on roller coasters for years after this. I've always really liked this film. This film I think is the best in the series. I feel like we're going to have a steep drop off after this one, so the next
Mhm.
2 weeks might be a bit tough. But yeah, this movie is just a lot of fun. I remember loving it throughout high school, and then like it's got some of the best kills as well
Mhm.
in it. Shout out to the tanning beds. We'll get there.
Yep.
Holy smokes, literally. Yeah, I think this movie is a hell of a lot of fun, and yeah. What about you, Ash?
Yeah. No, I don't know if it was the first. I think I did watch the first two before this one because I would have been probably around like eighth grade to freshman year of high school when this came out. So I do think I'd already seen the other ones, but this one definitely I had a weird obsession with. I actually had the DVD, and when you had the DVD, the special DVD that I had, there was a mode where you could do where you controlled things. So, for example, they filmed a little bit of a different version of it to where you could choose to intervene. You could
That's
say, like,
so
do you want
funny.
this scene to go forward as planned, or do you want to like skip or save this character? And then it would like let you choose. It was very strange, but a lot of fun. So I remember like watching it a lot and just like playing around with that. But I also feel like Mary Elizabeth Winstead was like really picking up at this point because she was in so much stuff like Sky High and this and some other like smaller movies. So I definitely feel like I had like an attachment to her as the lead. So I watched this one a lot. And I think that she is the best lead out
Oh
of all.
yeah, yeah. She. I saw one letterbox review that was just like she had to have major back surgery for carrying the entire franchise on her back.
Yeah, she's great. And she's like an actually good actress, which I feel like the rest of the movies, they kind of just didn't really care how the acting was. They sort of just got whoever. Now, I don't think the rest of the characters in this movie are bringing their A game by any means, but I do think that she kind of, yeah, she carries the movie and she does a good job and she's more believable. I also think that this one has a really fun aspect that fits 2006 really well, which is using the digital camera as the like catalyst of how they know how they're going to die. So like the photos is
Hmm.
what
I think
tells
that's
them.
cool.
I think that's really cool because digital cameras were definitely all the rage. I know me and my friends used to take hours worth of photos when we would hang out. So I think that's kind of a fun little thing that they did that was popular at the time. So yeah, I think this one's the most fun out of all of them. I think the roller coaster aspect is definitely something that people have a huge fear of. So I think adding to that fear and making it even kind of like the flying. People have a big fear of flying, and I feel like this fits that too, where it's like something that you see people do every day, but there's a lot of people who are terrified of it. So I think
Huge, yeah.
using that is really fun. And again, we're set in high school again, like the first one. So I think that's where these movies kind of thrive. So that's why I think this one works really well. But yeah, I agree with everything you said. I think it's great, and I've definitely loved this one for a very long time. So let's
Absolutely.
just jump into it. I'll do the same as you normally do. Stop periodically. Feel free to jump in if you have anything to add. It's not a super long movie, so it's not like that many
We're
notes,
not
but
breaking down Schindler's List.
right? Oh God, I could never even fathom breaking down that movie.
Yeah, because it's so much worse than Final Destination 3. I agree.
So much worse. And it's like, what, 3 hours?
Yeah, it's way too long.
All right. Getting into it. We open to the seniors of McKinley High at an amusement. I'm assuming it's an amusement park. It doesn't look like a carnival that they just like set up. I think it must be like a legitimate amusement park
Yeah.
for their end of year celebration before graduation. Wendy, played by Mary Elizabeth Winstead, our main character, she's taking photos on the digital camera for the yearbook. While Kevin, who's Ryan Merriman, and then Carrie, which is his girlfriend, and Jason, who is her boyfriend, they're riding the high dive. But we noticed that when she looks at the photo, the V is missing and it just says die.
I die. Yeah.
And this is the first sign that basically she feels like something's off, something's making her feel uneasy. We meet Ashlyn and Ashley. So weird to say my own name. I'm going to say it a few more times. Very strange for me. Best friends, they're wearing matching velour sweatsuits. Remember those great things? With their whale
Yep.
tails hanging out.
I had the
So
exact same one.
which one, the pink or the blue?
Both. I
Love
had
it.
top pink, bottom blue.
Love it.
Yeah.
Wendy takes a photo of them with their huge blow up palm tree that they won from playing like one of those games where you have to like get the water in the clown's mouth. This will eventually mean something, obviously, which we don't know at the time. After all, we kind of get to see most of the characters. They gather to ride the big roller coaster that has the giant like devil as its theme. Fun fact: did you know that Tony Todd voices the devil?
I didn't. That's awesome.
They just had to make sure he made an appearance, even though
They
you
have
don't know
to.
it's him. He has like 5 or 6 lines. He says like something as you're walking up to the ride. But yeah, that's his voice for
That's
that.
so cool. That makes sense why they did that though.
Yeah, absolutely love it. So yeah, as they gather to ride the roller coaster, Wendy's hesitant to go on it. She tells Jason that she feels deja vu for something that hasn't happened yet. Boarding the roller coaster at the same time as Wendy, Jason, Kevin, and Carrie is Ashley and Ashlyn, a creepy older guy, Frankie, who seems to have graduated a couple of years ago. He's got a full-size video camera. He's so gross.
Yeah, that
And
guy's so
this is a great
bizarre.
time to bring up. This movie is the most sexist of any of them, but I think it just shows like the time that we were living in 2006. Not great. Not a great look. There's many lines in this movie where I'm just like, ooh, that does not age well.
Yeah.
We've got athlete football star Lewis and then Ian McKinley. His last name is McKinley, same as the school, and his girlfriend, Erin. Wendy tells him she cannot sit in the front seat, so they flip a coin. It's like her boyfriend and his friend flip a coin to see who's going to sit with her. I'm sorry, if my boyfriend did not sit with me because I was scared, I'd be so pissed.
Absolutely, you would.
So rude. But they flip a coin, and of course, Jason gets the front, so he goes and sits up there with Carrie. And
They're
then
on the
Kevin
same
goes,
ride. Just get in the
I know.
back.
She's like, I'm going to Berkeley next year. I'm never gonna get to do this. I'm riding in the front. I'm
You're
just
never
like,
gonna go on
"Girlfriend,
a
you're being
roller coaster
dramatic."
again? Yeah.
Exactly. There's roller coasters in California, honey. Anyways, so stupid. But this leads Kevin and Wendy to sitting together towards the back. And Jason's like, keep an eye on her. She's nervous. So everybody gets ready to take off, and they're kind of getting, seated. We start to see this red fluid dripping from the tracks, but the ride takes off anyways. They kind of seem like they're going to have fun, but wait, there's more. The real, I think, like first big thing that happens is Frankie drops his video camera when they're going like upside down. Because what idiot brings a video camera on a
So
ride?
stupid, like a hand free
Yeah,
as
like a
well.
full camcorder.
Yeah.
For people who are young, believe it or not, we actually used to, carry camcorders around in public because you didn't have iPhones. You couldn't just take a video whenever you wanted. Just making sure the youngins know this,
History
It was a
lessons
different
with
time.
Ash, eh?
History lessons, yeah. So he drops his video camera and it wraps around the track. And so when they go over it, the cart starts like shaking and not staying in line. And from there, everything's going wrong. People are flying off into the sky, dying, falling. The safety restraints that hold them down stop working. They're having to hold on to them. I think this scene is filmed super well with the whole roller coaster
It is.
crash.
It's
I
done
think
really well.
yeah, it's really fun. Everyone is dead except for Wendy and Kevin, and then Ian and Aaron are still on the ride in front of them. They're stuck upside down, like in one of those little like half loops. They both fall to their death, and then Wendy and Kevin manage to get it to go like back down. And I love this scene. As they're doing this, this metal pole just cuts Kevin
It's
right in
so
half.
good. It's so good.
So good. And then Wendy has the best scream, and then she ends up falling. And then as she's falling, like you just see her face slow mo, and then she wakes up realizing that it was a dream. She screams, asking to get off the ride, trying to tell security what happened. They kick her off. I hate this scene because they're like, nobody else gets off this roller
Nobody else
coaster.
gets off the
Like,
ride.
you
Yeah.
can't force people to ride a roller coaster if they don't want to. It's so dramatic. It's not like a flight where it's like there's a time you have to leave and people are like
Yeah.
trying to, paid for a flight. It's so stupid. But anyways, Kevin and Lewis start fighting, so they kick Lewis off. Aaron and Ian follow, and then Ashley and Ashlyn are like, "This is so stupid. Let's go." And then Frankie follows them as well. So they all get off, and then as soon as they get downstairs, within seconds, the ride crashes, kills Jason and Carrie, and obviously the rest of the students that were on the ride. My favorite thing about all these movies is that the accident happens within like
A second.
seconds
Yeah.
after the premonition. It's so funny. It's like nothing happens that fast.
Yeah.
No airplane crash, no car crash, no roller coaster crash happens in an instant. So
Yeah,
it is just
you see,
funny.
like the first film, you see the pilot go back in, and then within 20 seconds, it's up in the
Yeah.
air. You're like, that's not how
Yeah.
planes work.
No,
Yeah.
so funny. But yeah, so we all stop there. What do you think of this opening? I think we've already kind of touched on it. What do you think of these characters? Any favorite moments or anything that we've covered so far?
No, I like all these characters are so different. I think it's the best group of characters that we've had so
Mm-hmm.
far. I think the second one's most iconic opening scene, but this one's still like the most fun in the way, you know what I mean? Like everyone has a slight fear of roller coasters, right? And to like kind of harp on that, I think that's really awesome. And that's what like one of the things that the second film doesn't do is like no one really has a fear of highway. like
Yeah, you have to drive to just like get places.
yeah,
So
exactly. So like that didn't really have the same effect, but this film definitely kind of harped on that. Big fan of like what's the goth couple? What are they
oh, yeah,
called?
Ian and Aaron.
Big fan of them. I think they're cool.
It's fun to have a gothic couple who are kind of already like, ooh, death. We're not afraid of death. People
Yeah.
die today.
Fuck
Like,
you, death. Well, like you knew that line was going to come out later. But yeah, no, they're good fun. They're probably my favorite. But like, yeah, I just like how different everyone is. Big fan of Ashley and Ashlyn because they could have easily done the trope of like they're just like bitchy towards everyone and like they're the popular girls. But like even after this, where they're just like, no, we got to invite her and stuff,
yeah.
and they invite her to tanning and stuff. Like I think that's really cool. I like their characters. I think they're just
They're
really
bitchy,
nice.
but they're not mean.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's cool. But yeah, I love this opening. This opening's just so much fun.
Yeah, I think it's great. And I think especially because I was getting to the point of starting high school soon after this came out, it's like it was kind of fun to like go through some of the nostalgia of like the fashion and like the low-rise jeans with a jean jacket and the velour sweatsuits. It was kind of nostalgic in a way
Oh
to
yeah.
watch it because I haven't watched it in a long time. But yeah, I agree with everything you said. And I just a point on the roller coaster thing. Funny enough, I was terrified of roller coasters my whole life up until I was in eighth grade. I wouldn't even go on the roller coaster at Disneyland, or I guess it's California Adventure. It only has like
Was the
one,
California Screaming?
yeah, it has like the one loop where you go upside down. Couldn't do it. I would not go on upside down roller coasters. Finally did it because my brother was making fun of me and convinced me to do it. And I watched this movie even after that. Since then, I have ridden some of the most like roller coasters that are like on lists of being most dangerous, tallest, like steepest, like incline. I love them. I love the
Yeah.
adrenaline. I
You
think
get
it's so much
past them.
fun.
Yeah,
Huh?
like I'm kind of the same. Like I used to hate roller coasters, but then like I'd always go on them. Like because like once you're strapped in, you're like, all right, here we go. And then once it starts, you're having fun. But it's like it's the lead up towards it that
Yes.
like gets me. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
I'm with
love
you
it so much.
there.
So it is funny how you can be so scared of something and then eventually that fear goes away. Now I'm like, I get a thrill from it. I mean, maybe not as much now. I'm getting a little old. I'm like, I might feel a little sore after a roller coaster beats me up, but it still gives you that sense of excitement. So
Yeah, for sure.
cool. Well, we after that flash to Wendy at school where she's like kind of throwing away stuff from the end of the year. Kevin runs into her. She says she won't be going to graduation. I think she kind of thinks that everyone like hates her and thinks she's a weirdo for getting them off the roller coaster, which I never understand why the main character feels so guilty. It's like you did the right thing. You
Yeah.
saved these people's lives. Why are they so pissed at you? You helped them not die.
The people that should be feeling guilty is the guy that just looked at the kid saying, "Get me off this roller coaster," and didn't do
Yes,
anything.
yes,
That's the guy
exactly.
that should be feeling guilty.
100%. But yeah, Kevin's kind of trying to get through to her, and she tells him they don't even like each other, and they would not have even been friends if it wasn't for who they were dating. So she kind of brushes him off. Ashley and Ashlyn invite her to come hang out with them to go tanning, like you said. Gives her the cell number. She immediately crumbles it up and I think puts it in her pocket. Kevin tries to chase after her and tells her about how he went online and found out about Flight 180 and
Yeah,
how
very, very convenient. But yeah,
very convenient. Had the vision of the plane exploding. 7 people got off the plane and then started dying in weird accidents in the same order they died unless someone intervened. But at this point, she's kind of not believing him. She kind of just shuts him down and she ends up leaving. Then we flash to her sister coming in her room, Julie.
yeah. This I love this scene.
She's a major biatch. Okay. If my sister, I don't have a sister, but if I did and she was ever this mean to me, holy shit. This girl's boyfriend just died. She's traumatized, and her sister is so rude to her.
Yeah,
So rude.
for borrowing a bracelet.
Yeah, it's just like calm the fuck down. Anyway, she comes in her room yelling about the bracelet, and then Wendy breaks down to her, crying, trying to say that she did everything that she could, or she should have done everything she could to stop it. She wished she could have a second chance. I think she's just trying to get her to understand and kind of trying to connect with her a bit more on an emotional level. All while knowing, Julie knows this whole time she was on the roller coaster.
Yeah, she doesn't say
Say,
anything. Yeah,
doesn't say anything. I
yeah.
just don't like Julie. I think she's a bad person.
Julie,
Anyways,
you're not getting on any lists today.
no, fuck you, Julie. Actually, I do like that actress. I think her name's Amanda Crew. She's always like a supporting character in a ton of movies.
Amanda
She's
Crew.
been in like She's the Man. She's in Sex Drive. Like she's always like a side character in a bunch of
Amanda
stuff.
Crew might be getting on the list. That's all I'll say.
She's not for this role.
Not
She's
for this role.
now Mary Elizabeth Winstead is definitely on the list.
Oh yeah.
That's a
Oh.
I just watched
Oh yeah.
it too. Yeah, she's definitely on the list.
Yep.
Okay. Back to business here. So Wendy starts feeling death's presence. We've talked about this in other movies, how it kind of comes in the form of like dark shadows or wind or things kind of swirling around. She starts to sense something. And then this is as Ashley and Ashlyn are at the tanning salon getting prepared in the room. I love their whole exchange with like the guy that owns the place, and they're just sort of like bitchy with him. And she's like, "Sure, I'll throw the drink away," and then she doesn't, and she brings it back. I think those little moments are really funny.
Yeah.
She starts going through the photos, and that's kind of where she starts to realize that it's showcasing how everyone will die. I think she looks at the one of Jason and sees the roller coaster kind of coming down in the back of the photo with the devil, and then she sees the palm tree, obviously, and kind of gets the idea that this is a sign that something's not going to go well. Ashlyn decides to turn the temperature up in the tanning room and says, "A few degrees won't hurt." Lol. Um, they strip down, hop in the tanning beds, and then we get the infamous roller coaster of love scene. I fucking love when they're like the
Roller
shot of
coaster.
them both in there with the same angle, and they're just like jamming with the music and their little. It's so iconic.
It's
It's
very
so
iconic. It's so damn iconic.
I love it. So the heater starts malfunctioning, and because of Ashley's drink that she left in there, it starts dripping. None of this is actually how anything would work in real life, but I do love how hard they go with like filming it and like, showing you every aspect of everything kind of starting to fuck up. It starts getting hotter in there, and then the tanning beds eventually pop the glass. It catches both girls on fire while the owner is all locked outside. He has no idea this is going on. He can't get back into the building because of a bottle of sunscreen. It just didn't hold the door.
The fucking bottle of sunscreen is cold. Is gold. Like
So ridiculous. I love it. Wendy does try to call them to warn them, but it ends up being too late, unfortunately. And then we get the amazing shot that you were talking about earlier. We flash from the dual tanning beds to the dual coffins. It is one of the best shots in the entire movie.
it's
And I think
unbelievable.
the best shots in the entirety of the franchise. I know we talked about the log killing the cop and the premonition, but as far as the actual deaths of characters not in the premonition, like the actual deaths, I think this is the best one in the franchise.
Oh yeah.
The most iconic, at least. So after the funeral, Wendy tells Kevin how this fear is always with her and the presence feels calm and terrifying. This is where she starts to show him the photos. I, I kind of cringe a little bit when they try to go as far as like the Abe Lincoln and the
Oh,
Twin Towers photo. They're
yeah.
going a little too far there.
They're like
Uh,
these giant towers. They have a shadow of a plane. It's like, yeah, because it's New York.
yeah, like it just feels kind of cringe to take it to the level of like this has been happening in history for this long. I wish they would have just shown the photo of the highway pileup and then just kind of gone with that.
yeah,
But
using major terrorist attack is kind of wild.
yeah, and even like the Abe Lincoln one is wild.
Yeah.
It was an assassinate. Like it's just wild. Anyways, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. But she basically shows them all the photos of everybody, and they start trying to figure out, what it means, and they know who's next. So they start trying to kind of. This is where they start like to break it down, and they actually sort of partner up to try to see if they can stop this thing. So they realize that Frankie's next. The creepy guy with the video camera. They stop off at a drive-through to discuss it, and they're kind of looking through and they see something about a ladder. There's like this beer truck that starts backing up into Kevin's truck. It's like about to hit them.
Yeah.
The radio changes to there's someone walking behind you. That's always like a signifier that something is going to happen, I guess. And then there's a different truck. They don't know that Frankie's in front of them this whole time. There's a different truck where the driver somehow ends up outside of the vehicle and the truck starts rolling down the hill. So ridiculous. And it starts coming towards them. So they like crack through the window, get out of the truck, and then the truck ends up in the drive-through, smashes through the truck that Kevin was driving and hits the car in front of them with a radiator fan, blending the guy's head up.
That's
And we
so
realized
good.
it was Frankie. His necklace of the like naked girl, it's all bloody, and they find it and realize that it was him.
It must be Frankie.
I love this because it gets some doubt going in their mind, which I think is kind of fun for this story. So they kind of start to question, like, what do the photos mean? Because he had the ladder. Like, we did, what's the fan thing? So where they look through more photos and they realize that they missed something because Kevin had taken that photo under that girl's skirt at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
And in the background of that photo, Frankie is in it, and there's a fan right next to his face.
Exactly.
They realize that they have to be looking out for more clues than just the obvious, which I think is really fun. Not taking pictures under girls' skirts, though. Don't do that.
No.
So next they had to find Lewis, who's at football camp. This guy drives me fucking nuts. His character is
This room of fucking jocks is the worst.
it's my nightmare. My
Fuck you,
night.
Bruins.
So yeah, they go to the football camp. Half these guys look like they're like 40 years old, so I'm not sure what that's about.
Yeah.
But they try to tell him that he's next, and of course he doesn't believe them. He thinks everything's just a coincidence. He's in control of his life. Blah blah blah. He isn't afraid of death. So while lifting weights, he's using like this upper body machine where you have to, you pull it like down. And he's like, "Fuck death! Death fears me!" Like he's just going on and on. And then the two swords, which is what the clue was, come down, cut the wires for the machine. I don't think he notices, and then when he goes to pull it back, the weights just go.
Yeah.
And smash his head between it.
Which
and
isn't how that machine works.
No,
but
not at all.
yeah.
Super unrealistic, but it is a funny one to watch happen.
It's great.
And so, yeah, I'll stop there. But they basically are witnessing his head and skull and everything go everywhere. So it's a fun one. But anything to add here with
No.
the death?
The death of Frankie is like one of the ones that I always remember from
It's
this
brutal.
film. Where it's just like I always remember the drive-through. That's all. Every single time when I'm thinking about this film, it's like roller coaster drive-through. Those are the main two because it's so fucking brutal. Of like it's not just like he gets crushed. It's like no, like a fucking fan goes into his head. It's
But doesn't he deserve it?
yeah, guy sucks. Absolutely, guys.
And I love the scene at the funeral where we didn't talk about it, but where Julie's like talking to him, the younger sister of Wendy, and he's like, "I feel like this is my fault. If it wasn't for me, they
Yeah.
wouldn't be not wanting to go to the tanning salon and looking so good." And she's like, "Of course you'd find a way to make everything about you."
Exactly. He's such a
classic.
he's a dirtbag. But yeah, no, I always love that. These kills are just so unique and fun. Like you going into that room, that gym, which would have just been stinking.
Oh yeah.
Like it was just pure testosterone. You knew something was about to happen then. Like what this movie does so funnily, they keep amping it up with each film. Is that like something's about to happen, and the main character knows like she's looking out for death.
Yes.
And she keeps looking at different things, being like, it could be this, could be that, could be this. And it's like the water fountain starts to leak, and then
Yeah.
someone puts a fucking radio next to it,
Yeah.
and then drops it, and picks it back up again, like little things like that. And you're like, this is so stupid. And then like it's the thing starts to drip luckily, onto a box that's 215 volt. And I'm like, and just like that. Out the way, I think that was the tanning bed. Where she has the drink in it and the condensation drips onto
Yes.
the vault. That sort of shit. I'm like, I fucking love that. It's just
All of these movies have water as an element of some, like in some way. Like the first two definitely go harder with it, but I feel like they all have some kind of involvement of like you think water is going to, like, it's always going to do something, whether it be leaking into electrical or something along those lines. I think it's, excuse me, I think it's just kind of like an easy way to create that like, ooh, is something going to blow up? Like it's one of those things where it's going to get you wondering. So I think they throw that in there in almost every one of the movies. I'm not sure about the last two, but the first three for sure,
absolutely.
which is funny. But yeah,
Yeah.
I think some of these kills are just some of the best that we get. I have a question though, and maybe I'm thinking too much about this logically, which I shouldn't be, with a movie like this. But I never understood. So like, you know how Kevin and Wendy, they're behind him in the drive-through.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not their turn yet, right?
So
So
if they,
what if they didn't go through like was that just part of Death's plan that they were going to escape the car or what
I
was
presume so. That's what I
okay.
would assume, but I think that if we go too deep into that, we're thinking too literally about Final Destination
It's
3.
not
But
going
I'm
to
all
show.
aboard. I'm all aboard. Yeah, yeah. I think that Death would have assumed that they would get out, but then why would he put the truck next to the door?
That's what I'm saying. It almost reminded me of like you know how like Eugene in the second one, you know, tries to shoot himself and it's like all blanks because like it's
Yeah.
not his time yet. So my thought was like, but they seem pretty fearful that they're about to get hit right now by this truck. So
Yeah.
what happens if they just don't move? Are they just magically gonna survive somehow?
They probably would have, yeah. But I think that the truck needed to, I mean, the car needed to be there for the radiator.
100%. Yeah.
But yeah.
I'm thinking about it too much. It doesn't matter. I
No,
just
no,
thought
I'm all about this. I'm all about this. Yeah. But I think that, like, Death would have, like, known that they survive.
yeah, 100%. They'd have to. Okay, well, let's continue on. So Wendy's really struggling at this point. She's become, you know, quite emotional about what she's going through and trying to figure out how she can help these people. She's under a lot of pressure, you know. It's
Yeah,
a hard
yeah.
job to be the one that knows people are going to die and you're trying to stop it. But she's determined to try to notify everybody about their deaths. So the next would be Ian and Aaron, who apparently work very late hours at a local hardware store together, but nobody else seems to be working there except for the two of them. They don't want to believe that they're going to die. They just kind of think she's crazy. So some weird things start happening. This one's, I would say, one of the more drawn out deaths. They walk around the store for quite a while with like certain little weird things happening here and there before we really get to like the actual death. But things are falling. I think a piece of machinery like falls on, or I'm sorry, a box falls on a piece of machinery
Yeah.
on the gas pedal and makes it start moving
You
itself, which is
need keys. But that's what it is. It is.
it doesn't even matter. The logic is out the window here.
Yeah, it is. It very
And so
much
they
is.
kind of walk around, keep talking about everything, and they're trying to kind of make sense of it. Wendy starts to feel Death's presence again. Things kind of start swirling around. And then all of a sudden, all this heavy shit starts just falling off all the high shelves, like all these huge pieces of lumber, and everything's kind of going crazy. And unfortunately, Erin does fall and has a nail gun go through her face, causing her death while Ian has to watch. It's pretty brutal. His like like scream that he lets out at the end,
Oh,
intense.
it's so fucking intense.
Technically, Ian was supposed to also be a part of this, but Kevin sort of intervenes and helps, you know, save him. So it skips Ian, and that's why Aaron ends up dying next. After this, the whole town is doing this bicentennial event, so everyone's going, including Julie, Wendy's sister. And Wendy wakes up, and the photo is just on her screen, and she makes the realization that her sister was on the roller coaster. She's wearing the bracelet that the grandmother gave her. She can see it through a photo she took of the attendant's hand. And so she freaks out, realizing that Julie's next, which is so crazy. Julie snuck onto this ride with nobody seeing her and snuck off
It's
with
so
nobody.
good. It's so good.
Wendy warns Kevin that Julie and her friend are next, and he's already at the event. So he tries to track her down. He also tells her this is a good time to look at their own photos because they're going to be next after that. Wendy realizes that she's likely going to be killed in some way because of Ian, because she's wearing a McKinley high shirt. And his involves like flashing lights in his face, so they assume fireworks. Um, Kevin finds Julie and tries to warn her. She runs away. At this point, Wendy has also come to the event, and Ian is following her, which she realizes. And then we have Julie flipping off Kevin like she does in her photo, which leads to her walking back into kind of the crowd, and the spooked horse comes out of nowhere. And she ends up getting dragged. There's like huge rope around her neck. It's actually
Which
pretty
is
cool.
so brutal.
So she's like basically dragged across the lawn, and Kevin's able to cut the rope just before she gets impaled by like these spiky things that would have killed her. So then next is her friend. They're trying to figure out which one it is, and before they even have time, her friend gets impaled by this flying pole. This horse, it's just like, if the horse is that spooked, why is it at the event? It's supposed
Yes.
to be doing
Yes.
things.
Yes. Yes.
Why?
Yes.
Why?
Yes.
So Kevin's supposed to
Why
die
is
due
it
to
at the
flames.
event?
Flames burning his face. It's not fireworks. It's like a skewer gets stuck in the gas line and ends up like blowing up, and Wendy's able to save him.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
a lot of like saving and then jumping right into the next death during this whole part. And then Wendy, Julie, and Kevin are trying to escape, and this is where they run into Ian. He's being all creepy and kind of just giving off vibes like he's, wanting something bad to happen to Wendy.
It's kind of like a Joker arc.
Yeah, right. She tells him to stay away, and that's kind of where he gets the impression that he's going to somehow cause her death. This is the only part of the movie where I'm just like, I don't know, the logic isn't really working for me, because Ian's supposed to cause her death in some way, but then her death is technically going to be fireworks coming towards the three of them, but then they all duck. So that's considered intervening.
That's weird.
It's a bit of a stretch, in my opinion, but that's what happens. So they all get skipped, I guess. And it's funny because the fireworks go past Ian. He's like, yeah, see, it's not my time. And then he gets crushed by like this crane of
Gets
sorts that falls on.
massacred. Yeah.
Yeah, just gets absolutely splattered. Um, and he dies. So then we flash to 5 months later on a train where Wendy is with some college friends. She starts feeling uneasy, starts seeing signs. She sees a sign that says 180. As she's about to get off the train, she runs into her sister. Crazy. And that ends up keeping her on the train, and they start talking, and then they end up running into Kevin as well. Crazy.
I've been here the whole time.
Yeah, just casually there. And then she has another premonition. We get to see all of them dying in a train crash. And as she's laying on the tracks, bloody, another train car just comes and absolutely crushes her to death. And she wakes up realizing that it was another vision. They're like, oh, is it happening again? They all start panicking. And then it just goes black, and we hear the crash happening before the credits roll. That is Final Destination 3. So give me your final thoughts, your score, any of your favorite like scenes or deaths. I know we kind of already touched on them, but
The nail death is high. The
yeah,
nail death is so, because it just keeps going. That's sort of
like
like
go, 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 go.
yeah, unreal. Yeah, this movie I think has the best kills. It's the best cast of characters. Everyone is very unique, and you kind of understand where everyone's coming from. Yada yada yada. But everyone's coming from. You can differentiate everyone, which like you couldn't in Final Destination 2. There was just way too many characters, and there was a lot of similar people. The best kills for me is obviously going to be Roller Coaster, but then the drive through and the nails. They're so goddamn good. We should do at the end of by the end of Final Destination 5, we should do a draft for best kills. I think
I was already thinking that for the last one.
that'd be good fun. Yeah, I think this movie's goddamn fun. I'm gonna give it 3.5. I think this is the best one. It's fun. It's classic mid 2000s, from the soundtrack to just even the way it's shot. But I would give it a 3. But that shot of the 2 tanning beds into the 2 coffins raises it. Absolutely.
Cool.
That shot is spectacular. What about
I
you,
agree.
Bash?
Yeah, actually, I gave it the same score. Originally, I gave it 3, and then I went back today and I was like, no, this is 3.5. Because as I was like writing my notes and thinking more about it, I was like, no, this one's definitely better than the second one. And I do agree. I think it might be better than the first one as well. The first one's always going to be iconic to me, but this one's the most fun. I think Mary Elizabeth Winstead gives the best performance as
Yeah,
far as
best
the
main
protagonist.
character for sure.
Yeah, I think she's believable because she actually is talented, unlike a lot of the actors they put in some of these movies.
Sorry, Devon Sawa. Sorry, man.
So I do adore Devon Sawa when he was younger, especially like in certain movies, but I wouldn't argue that he's like
No, I
Just
agree.
a great actor. But yeah, I think this one is definitely the most fun. I love that they get back to the basics of what people liked about the first one. I think James Wong kind of understood what people liked and he kept it simple. They didn't try to get too deep into the why and how can we stop it. It was more just like the simple recipe of try to intervene, try to stop it, try to, get to people before it happens. I think it was good that they kind of went back to the basics. And then the roller coaster aspect of it, so fun, so ridiculous. And I think, again, it's always great when they put these movies in high school. I think it fits the best for the type of horror film that they are. So yeah, I really love this one. I think it's a lot of fun. I wish it wasn't so sexist and misogynistic, but that's 2006. What can you
It is
do?
mid 2000s for you,
We're,
isn't it?
we're trying to improve as a society, so that's good. But yeah, I think this one's a lot of fun, and the tanning bed scene will always be, to me, the most memorable death in any of these movies. Also, the first time that any of these movies had nudity, that was like a first for them, I guess. They decided to start adding that in. I'm not sure if that continues or not, but that feels very much like a mid 2000s horror film type of trope, which is just kind of funny. But yeah, I think this is a blast to watch, and I think I'll revisit this one more than I would others. So yeah,
Oh,
three
yeah.
and a half as well.
Hell yeah.
Awesome. Well, before we jump into our game, that is Final Destination 3. Next week, we're doing, wouldn't you guess it? Final
Final
Destination.
Destination 5.
Actually, it's called The Final Destination,
But it's not.
but it's not.
But it's not.
So that's what we're doing next week. So definitely watch that in preparation. But before then, we are going to end off with just something we haven't really done before on this pod, which is a draft of movies that came out in 2006. So we've never really done like a year specific
Yeah,
draft here.
I'm keen.
So kind of fun. There's not like there's some really amazing films, but then there's just like some really like fun ones, right?
Yeah.
That aren't the best quality, but they're
There's
fun. So,
heaps. Yeah.
yeah, I'm excited. Some I haven't seen, unfortunately, but yeah, I'm excited. We'll do, I don't know, Harry, what do you want to do? Like seven each?
Yeah, I can do 10 to be honest if you want to do 10.
Let's start with seven and see
All
where
right.
we
So
end up.
how about we start with 7 and we'll see where we're at.
Yeah, great idea. How about you go first? I'll be nice
Oh
today.
shit. See, I have pick of 2, but then now you asked me to go first. Um
Favorite movies ever is on this list. So
12 Angry Men. No, it's not.
yeah, it came out in 2006.
No, Rocky Balboa, the sixth Rocky film.
What about Santa Claus 3?
Oh fuck yeah! I'm gonna go the battered for number 1.
The Departed.
The departed. There's so many ones that if you go for one, I would understand.
Yeah. I think there's a pretty clear one for me.
Already
And I
writing it
just
down.
recently rewatched it. I really love this movie, and
Grandma's Boy, got it.
yeah, definitely Grandma's Boy. No, I'm gonna take The Prestige. I
Yeah,
think it is one of the more underrated Nolan movies. I think it's fantastic.
I need to
Um,
rewatch that. I haven't watched that for years.
yeah, I just showed it to Adam like a month ago, and I loved getting to like watch him not like know all the twists. It's like fun when you don't when you know, but somebody else doesn't know. I just think it's a great movie, and I love magic, so
Nice.
it's all for me.
I'm gonna go for my second pick, Pan's Labyrinth.
Yeah, that's what I thought you'd take first.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I love Pan's Labyrinth.
I need to rewatch it. It's been a long time.
Oh, there's so many movies.
Yeah, it really is. Okay. Next for me, I gotta stay true to myself. I'm gonna go with Little Miss Sunshine,
Yeah, nice.
one of my absolute favorites from that year.
I love that pick.
Talk about a great cast. I mean, Paul Dano, Abigail Breslin, Tony Collette, Steve Carell,
Oh yeah,
Alan Arkin. It's just
it's
insane.
nuts. Tony Collette in that movie, and Paul Dano. You said Paul Dano, didn't you?
Mhm.
My third. I think I can keep that. I'm gonna go Children of Men.
That's the one I haven't seen.
Okay, damn it.
I've heard really good things. That's the one that's done by Alfonso Cuarón, right? The one that did like
Yeah,
the third Harry Potter movie.
yeah.
Yeah, I'll have to watch that soon.
Alfonso Cuarón is actually how you pronounce it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sounds legit.
Cuarón.
Okay. I feel like the rest that are left for me, at least, are all kind of just like either holiday picks or like fun ones. I feel like I've kind of gotten the two that were more critically acclaimed for me. So now I'm just going to have fun with it. And for my third pick, I'm going to go with, I think, one of the better comedies from the early 2000s, and I'm going to take Borat.
Damn it! Damn it! That was my next. So that's when I was like, I can keep that. I wanted Borat so badly. Nice.
So ridiculous.
Mine's pretty easy. I'm going with the start of the Daniel Craig's. I'm going Casino Royale.
I had a feeling you might. I have not seen. This is my truth again. Another truth for me to speak. I have not seen any James Bond movie.
Oh yeah. What?
Never.
That's wild.
I know. I just have never sat down and watched any of them.
Oh,
I've never seen a
please,
Mission Impossible movie either. None of them.
please go watch the Daniel Craig films. They're great.
Yeah, I mean, I love him. I don't know. That's just not the type of movie I ever like. That's not my first choice to go
That's
to when I'm
wild to me, Ashlyn.
Ashland. Okay, now I feel like I'm in trouble. Um,
If you take my next pick, I might burn this house to the ground.
well, I
Just letting you
told
know.
Adam that I would pick this movie for him, and I just don't know if I trust you to leave it for the end. So I'm gonna take Tenacious D in the Pick of Destiny. Was that your next pick?
Don't talk to you.
Okay. I actually really do love this movie, and the music is pretty great.
If I had a gun to my head and they're like, we won't shoot you unless you say every word of a movie, it would be Tenacious D, the Pick of Destiny. Can't you see he's the man? Let me
Can't just
hear you
take it.
applaud.
You took two that I've never seen.
Yeah, I didn't know he hadn't seen any fucking Bond. That's
The risk.
crazy.
It's the risk you take.
That's fucking wild that you haven't. I'm gonna take The Devil Wears Prada.
I knew you were going to take that movie. I know you love it.
I love it so much.
You're not going to Paris.
That's all. I love her so much.
Is that the movie where the Meryl Streep says like, "Oh, please, everybody wants this," or they know that like line that goes around
I
like
think so, yeah.
talk. I can't remember the exact quote, but I think it is this movie. Fucking Meryl Streep. She's ridiculous. I don't love that movie as much as I feel like other people do, but I do still find it really fun. It's quite problematic to me though, how much it focuses on women's bodies. Like Emily Blunt talking about how she hasn't had any food for like 2 days.
Yeah,
And like
that's
Anne
nuts.
Hathaway is supposed to be like the like fat girl. I don't know. There's stuff like that just really bothers me.
Don't be ridiculous, Andrea.
That one.
Everybody wants this.
That's the line. Yep, you nailed it.
God,
Okay,
I might watch that today.
great one.
Can't believe
I'm probably
fucking
gonna watch
took
La La Land
Tenacious
first.
D. Tell Adam, me and him have we have words.
Okay, I'll let him know.
I'm gonna raise my fists.
Okay, now it's gonna get tough. I feel like okay, we've got five each. I want like some variety here. This is kind of an off the wall pick for me, I feel like. I've only seen this movie once, but I really enjoyed it. I'm gonna take Slither. I think it's a fun, like
Slither's a wild pick.
comedy kind of horror film. James Gunn just works for me, so
I like that
Slither
pick.
it is.
Slither. All right, so we're going to 7 at the moment.
Yeah, we can keep going for more if you want.
Yeah, beautiful. Hmm. I wonder. Wait, is that? Oh, that's a good one as well. That's also a good one. That's also a good one. There's too many good ones, you know?
It's a
Now
lot.
we're at that stage where you're like, there's like 15 that you could take. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's like Fast and Furious, Tokyo Drift.
That's on the
so-
list. That's on the list. Yeah.
Also Silent Hill.
That's not on the list.
I had such a fascination with that movie when I was younger. I don't know why. I never played the game.
Silent Hill. Oh man, they're so good.
I don't know why I liked the movie so much when I didn't have any like connection to it, but oh, there's also the Da Vinci Code. I know how much you love that movie.
Fuck that movie. Honestly, fuck everything about that movie. That movie sucks.
I don't think you ever wanted to talk to me again after I drafted it. And then
That
Tom
was
Hanks.
so wild draft. That movie's terrible. Maybe I go. Oh, I could go like 7 different ways.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. I'll go Inside Man.
Never seen it.
Fuck. I'm so
I have
glad.
a lot of 2006 movies to watch, apparently.
I'm glad I got Devil Wears Prada though.
Yeah, that was a good one. Okay.
Oh, fuck.
I think next I'm going to go for
If you do
some
it.
woman power on my list since I've got Borat and Tenacious D. I'm going to take Marie Antoinette
Okay.
from
You can
Miss Coppola.
you can take that.
Great movie starring Kirsten Dunst.
Marie and
I'm also writing all this down if you don't want to.
That's right. I like to keep track just so I know that I can't take movies that you've taken. Um. Okay. A lot of people talk shit about this. I think it's one of the best villains in the series. You probably haven't seen it either. Mission Impossible 3.
Nope, have not seen it. Is that the one that Philip Seymour Hoffman's in?
Yep. He's the
I've heard
villain.
about it for sure.
He's great in it. Do you have someone you love, like your girlfriend? I'm gonna hurt her. I'm gonna hurt her so bad. It's great.
Yeah, I've heard about him specifically, and I've heard about like the villain. I think Ethan on Movie Draft podcast has talked about that. Maybe that's where I'm thinking of.
I like Ethan.
Ethan's cool.
Ethan's very cool.
If you're listening, hi Ethan.
Hey, Ethan.
Yeah, I think the issue is that I'm not like the biggest action movie person, so I just don't think to watch them. Like all these franchise action series like that, I don't dislike action movies. It's just not my favorite genre, so I just don't think to put it at the top of the list.
Yeah, I feel that.
But I will definitely, for you, Harry, I will watch some Mission Impossible and some James Bond movies.
Yeah, it's kind of wild. I'm still getting over how you haven't seen any Bond.
Well,
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy, but it is what it is. Let's see. So we're gonna do more than 7, right?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So next,
There's one particular that I really want. So if you take it now, there will not be an episode 63. That's all I'll say.
better pick wisely then. I'm actually gonna take a holiday movie because I think that it's important to have a Christmas movie on this list, and I'm gonna take the Danny DeVito starring Deck the Halls. Is that the movie you're gonna take? Oh, he's not speaking to me anymore, everyone. Is that the movie?
Yep. So
Spoken about that film. How should I know that that was what you were
you
gonna
should
take?
know when it comes to Danny DeVito.
I'm just as obsessed as you are.
He's so good. I
He
want
is,
to
and
be pure.
what is it? Matthew Broderick is also in that.
Yeah, great movie.
Another Christmas movie. The Santa Claus 3 is still available.
Yeah. And another one. There's a couple.
And another one. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna see. I wish we could draft movies that we haven't seen because I know that I would love This Is England, but I just haven't seen it.
Yeah, I feel like other podcasts do that, but to me, it's weird to like.
Oh, I'm not gonna draft. Yeah, no,
Because it feels like you're just picking it to like try to get votes. We don't really keep track of votes or anything.
no, I don't
for
give a
our-
shit.
Um,
But it's more just like I know that I would love that movie. That
Yeah,
would be on there if I had seen it, but I'm not gonna pick it because like maybe I don't like it. I'm gonna go with Monster House.
Monster. I haven't seen that movie in forever.
Great movie.
That's kind of got like the claymation style animation. That's
Yeah,
cool.
that movie was so good back in the day.
Nice.
Can't believe
Man,
you
I
took
still
Deck,
have
Deck
some-
the Halls.
Like
well.
mine are mostly comedies that are left, which I'm okay with. I'm okay with that. But I don't know. I remember liking this movie. I'm just gonna take it. I think other people like it. I remember liking it. It's been a long time since I've seen it, but it was a kind of an iconic one at the time. I'm gonna take 300.
That was my
I don't know the
next.
movie's aged. I'm not sure. I have not watched it in forever, but
That
I feel like-
was. Yeah, that was my next.
what do you do, Harry?
Yeah.
You picked Monster House.
Yeah, but Monster House fucking rules, alright?
It does, but
You know
We
what's? I'm gonna take Pirates of the Caribbean 2, Dead Man's Chest.
was that
What-
the second?
Yeah, it's the introduction of Davy Jones, one of the greatest introductions of a villain ever.
Yeah, I have not seen those movies in a very long time. I could not tell you a single thing that happens in that movie.
So there's pirates.
Ha ha. I mean, like specific plot details. Okay.
Go to Davy Jones's locker,
Ridiculous.
Captain Jack Sparrow.
Those movies really were so iconic when they came out, though.
So fucking good. Bill Nye, perfect casting.
Yeah, he's great. Okay, so I think we're down to 2 left, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I've got a lot of comedies left. I'm just trying to think which ones I like the best.
Tenacious D, eh?
I got Borat and Tenacious D. Very, very different. I feel like I want one theme. Okay. I'm going to take a movie that I don't think is super beloved, but I have a soft spot for it. I always have, and that is the Adam Sandler starring Click.
Oh, nice.
A movie that's supposed to be funny that makes me weirdly cry.
Oh, that last scene in the
Yeah.
rain. Yeah, 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 yeah,
Not the
yeah.
best acted film, but there's just something about it. I just love it.
No, I fuck with that. Um, damn it, I really. Oh man, I'm just looking at Tenacious D right now. I'm just well.
Yeah,
Um,
on your list. There's still some left.
yeah, I'm gonna go Grandma's Boy.
Great one.
I love Grandma's Boy.
Perfect stoner movie.
Absolutely.
And I like that they work at like a video game developing place. I think it's kind of a fun like storyline.
Eat my ass.
Young Jonah Hill.
Yeah, so good.
Fantastic.
For 14
Okay, well,
hours.
for my last pick, I don't know if you've seen this movie. I recently rewatched it in the last year. It was a favorite of mine growing up, and that is Stick It, the
Oh,
gymnastics
stick it.
movie.
Hell yeah. That's a great movie.
So,
Nice one.
all right. That wraps it up, I guess, right? You took
Yeah, I took
10?
10. You took 10. Yep.
Okay. So to summarize, Harry took The Departed, Pan's Labyrinth, Children of Men, Casino Royale, The Devil Wears Prada, Inside Man, Mission Impossible 3, Monster House, Pirates of the Caribbean 2, Dead Man's Chest, and Grandma's Boy. Me, Ash, took The Prestige, Little Miss Sunshine, Borat, Tenacious D and the Pick of Destiny, Slither, Marie Antoinette, Deck the Halls, 300, Click, and Stick It. So that wraps up our 2006 movie draft. What a fun year for movies. A lot of variety there. But
Insanely
until
fun.
then, we are going to finish off our episode here of Final Destination 3. Thank you for listening. Again, next week, make sure you watch The Final Destination, aka Final Destination 4.
Which is before Final Destination 5.
Right.
Which is also before Final Destination Bloodlines, which comes out next year.
Oh, shit, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then we have to add an extra week
Might
to
have
December
to.
to do the next one. I don't know.
It comes out like August or something, so you got time. But
Oh,
like, I think it's just hilarious how 2 more movies are beyond the Final Destination.
you're being serious.
I'm being 100% serious.
I did not know that there was another one coming
There's a
out.
new one coming out, yeah.
Oh, I thought you were just being funny.
No. I know I normally am, but yeah, there's another one. And you might be thinking, like, who would want this? And don't be ridiculous, Andrea. Everybody wants this.
That's right. And on that note, please follow us on everything. I'm Ash, that's Harry, and this is the Love, Death, and Movies podcast. We will see you next week to talk about Final Destination 4, and we will always see you at the movies.